So one of the most gruesome things that ever happened in the state of Oklahoma all started with this man right here, 44-year-old Lawrence Anderson, who was recently released from prison back in January of 2021, all because he was part of a time commute program where they commuted his time sentence based on the crimes that he was committed, mostly from drugs or property damage crimes. And out of 800 people, he was one of the people that actually was released early, even though he's supposed to be serving a 20-year sentence. So from the 20 years he was supposed to stay in prison, it got commuted down to 9 years, and out of those 9 years, he only served 3 of those years. After he was released from prison, he went to go stay with relatives, his uncle, 67-year-old Leon Pye, and his aunt, 66-year-old Delcy Pye, and where he wanted to get his life turned around. But on February 9th, 2021 is when everything hit the fan. So on February 9th, 2021, police received a 911 phone call from a woman that was screaming hysterically saying that she was being attacked. And so when police arrived at the scene, they found one of the most gruesome scenes that they had ever seen in their whole entire lives, where they found a male that was found alive, stabbed to death, as well as a 4-year-old who's in critical condition, and a woman that was in critical condition as well too. And they found Anderson in the living room, pretty much puking his guts out. Paramedics arrived at the scene in hopes of taking everybody to the hospital. The uncle was found unalive, as well as the 4-year-old who had passed away in the back of an ambulance when she even arrived to the hospital. And the aunt was actually in critical condition, but she actually survived her injuries, even though she is currently blind in one eye and deaf in one ear. Anderson was also sent to the hospital too for undisclosed injuries, but he would remain in custody while he was in the hospital. And during the time he was there, he actually confessed to another crime he was committed that exact same day, which actually shocked police officers right afterwards. So earlier that day of February 9th, 2021, Lawrence had actually went across the street to this woman's house. 41-year-old Andrea Blankenship went to her backyard, broke in through it, and when she found that she was there, he actually unalived her by stabbing her to death. But he just didn't stop there. He went ahead and cut her heart out. And after he was done doing that, he went back to his aunt and uncle's house and continued to cook her heart as well as make it with potatoes, and then try to serve it to his relatives. And when he refused to, he unalived them. And when they asked him the reason why he did that, he said because he wanted to release the demons that were possessing their bodies. Now, because his crime was so gruesome and heinous, the prosecutor wanted to give him the death sentence. But the family of the victims didn't want to go through the whole entire trial because they didn't want to know every gruesome detail what actually happened that day. And so they made a deal with him where he would actually serve life in prison without parole. As of right now, the victims' families are currently suing both the governor and the parole board for the release of Anderson just because of the fact that he wasn't even supposed to be released in the first place because he was actually released based on a clerical error. Because when he first applied for it, he was rejected, but then somehow his paperwork got put back into the pile even though he's supposed to wait 3 years after the rejection notice. So as of right now, there is no news on what the results were, but as of right now, there's a current lawsuit going on.